another song that sort of sounds off this one.
Okay.
And I maybe I'm a bit fussy. I tend to like originality and difference. For example, you know, with the rappers, there's a thing, you don't keep repeating your bars. You don't spit and keep repeating. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like the fact that he has an extraordinary identity, though. So I like his style. Yeah. So when it drops, I know it's a quick flick, and I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the trap music thing with Jeezy and the other guy's name. Yeah. Well, they're doing their own thing, the Americans. So, yeah, of course, we support them. But welcome aboard the news review segment of the show. It's another beautiful morning. How are you today?
Oh, I'm very good. Yesterday, I stayed in Amasaman. I mean, I went to Amasaman yesterday, spent quite a bit of the morning, pretty much the entire morning there. I spent time at the Municipal Assembly as well, which was a good thing. Spent time with the police, MTTD, and yeah. So I've got a feature that will come out. Yeah, maybe tomorrow, Monday. Yeah. So.
Well, let's see.
But I'm good and well, and I'm back here. How? Yesterday I couldn't see you. I was reporting.
Oh, you missed
on
me
the ground, but I couldn't see your face.
You missed me. Just say it.
Why are you pushing me like that?
Oh, but won't for me. Now I'm sounding all. Show some puppy love, some puppy love at least.
Me feel. It sounds like you cry.
Let's dig into the papers. The Ghanaian Times, the Business Finder, and the Daily Dispatch are the papers I have. It's a bit of a lean morning in terms of the papers today. I've
got the Daily Graphic, the Daily Guide, the Daily Statesman, and the Business and Financial Times. And just to also add that this morning I woke up to a 3-page piece written by the former Special Prosecutor, Mr. Martin Amidu. So we will run you through what he's been saying, also about the nominee for, the post that he once occupied, and the links that he's drawing to Asasi Radio and the Ejapa royalties deal, all coming up. Yeah.
So there's quite a bit as well, because I've been interacting with a number of people, and Edem Senanu, before yesterday, just to build the trajectory, he said that, well, the qualifications the man has, yes, he's very qualified, but in terms of the anti-graft fight, he's not been in that space. He doesn't see his qualification, so to speak, and that it's not what will make him fit for the office. That was Edem Senanu. Yesterday, I interacted with Murtala Muhammad, Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, and he said in his own words that Kisi Ajabing is absolutely unfit because of some of these surrounding issues. Of course, there are others who also say that the man is good for the job. We had Fusaini Isa, for example, former Member of Parliament for Okaikwe North, who said that if it just has to do with this supposed conflict of interest, and if he's representing certain people and you feel he is tied to these people, and so he's tied to their heartstrings, he has heartstrings for them, and if any issue was supposed to arise, he wouldn't be able to deal with them. All he has to do is to let go of those clients, and he can move forward. So this will make for interesting, analysis as the days, go on. But it's interesting that Martin Amido is also wading in a way.
All right, so let's look at what the papers are reporting today, and I'll start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. On the front page, Keeping Ghana Clean, Name, Shame, Sanction. Speakers at Graphic Sanitation Campaign launch. It's the Graphic National Sanitation Awareness Campaign. It's been launched in Accra with a call for the strict enforcement of sanitation bylaws and the naming and shaming of people who flout the laws. These were the key recommendations by the various speakers at the launch yesterday. I also pursue digital growth aggressively. That's Kojopong Nkrumah urging the Daily Graphic. President launches $25 million film pitch. Military moves to flush out illegal miners from rivers. And this is one big one that's also getting lots of reactions. And I don't know if you have thought about this piece of information yet and what you make of it, considering the military was involved in earlier fights against Galamsey. So the Ghana Armed Forces have begun an operation to remove all 4 persons engaged in mining in water bodies in Ghana. The operation, which started yesterday on President Akufo-Addo's directive, took off on the River Pra in the central and the western regions with 200 soldiers who picked up some people and also seized some equipment. In the center spread of the Daily Graphic, Fidelity Bank posts strong 2020 results. Ghana Revenue Authority intensifies education to meet 2021 target. Alliance Life recapitalizes above new minimum capital requirements. Ghana Beverage Awards 2020 held virtually. And congratulations to Awake Purified Drinking Water, the emerged winner of the Ultimate Award Product of the Year. So that's another big one for the company Casa Preco. On the back page, Ghana rolls out a 5-year anti-malaria strategy. And also contractors working to expand portions of the Tema-Aflao Highway have proposed to install traffic signals at the Pom Barrier Junction as a temporary measure to address the periodic gridlock along the stretch. That's it for the Daily Graphic.
Let's quickly check out the Ghanaian Times newspaper. At the presidential pitch series, $25 million boost for movie industry as government moves to create 6,000 jobs in a sector. Now, this one that all of us are talking about, government deploys 200 soldiers to sack Galamseyers in Western region. That story is on page 17. I'll bring you details of that. Abrogate contract between NLA, KGL and KEED to save lotto industry. That's on page 18. And then this one. Man throws son into sea as sacrifice. In fact, that's on page 3. I'll just take a brief look at some of the stories there. And this 31-year-old man who allegedly threw his son into the sea near Akuma in Accra has appeared before the Kaneshie District Court charged with murder. His name, Prince Akwe, also known as Jew, said to have engaged in occultism, allegedly threw his son into the sea as a sacrifice. Akwe is said to have told his girlfriend that if anything happened to their son, she should not worry because they were going to be rich very soon. The court did not take Akwe's plea and he was remanded into police custody pending further investigations. So a bit of a tricky one there, but the things we do nowadays for money, or the things we have been doing, I should say. There are other interesting stories on page 3. Wife arrested for inflicting cutlass wounds on husband. So sometimes the reverse is also true. And road crashes claim 33 lives in the Upper East region. I'll bring you details of all of those stories. Minority asks government to explain challenges in power sector. They've come through with a 10-point plan that they want government to respond to. That's on page 4. The middle spread, International Conference on Food Security System begins online, and on the back page, 560 MSMEs to compete in after other formal markets. And check out this one on the back page of the paper. Look at that. That's a death trap right there on the whole Accra road. I mean, if you were driving on this stretch, what would you do? And if you didn't know that this was there, there's not even, I don't even see enough space to the side to maneuver your way through. But it's to be fixed in 3 weeks, and hopefully 3 weeks will be 3 weeks. That's it for the Ghanaian Times newspaper. All
right, let's do the Daily Guide newspaper next. On the front page, 200 soldiers fights Galamsey along rivers. Charlotte Osei meets Nana, one of those trending pictures on social media yesterday. Bafo Akoto fought tyranny. That story is also on page 3. In the paper, Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Usu Efriye Akoto, son of late Asantehene chief linguist Bafo Akoto, has said his father played a key role in helping to prevent dictatorship in Ghana after attaining the independence from colonial rule. It's a very popular constitutional law case, Akoto. So, Bafo Akoto and the 7 others who were arrested on this preventive law, the Preventive Detention Act. And this was under Nkrumah, one of those cases that when it is cited, people try to use that as a democratic dispensation, something that happened then in the military era. And they try to, say that some of the things that happened under Nkrumah did not even happen under military rule. And so I think the
PDA is one of the a few distasteful things that happened under Nkrumah. Yes, I mean, if you were going to be put in detention without knowing what exactly your actual crime was, and without any timelines, without the court really going through certain processes, I mean, that was a great worry. I imagine myself, I wouldn't want to go through that. So if people went through that for about 4 or 5 years in incarceration, without trial,
so this
it's a big
was
problem.
Act.
But just so I
just wanted to explain a little things just for people who are following us, who are watching, who may not really know. This was an act that was passed by Parliament during the Nkrumah era, which essentially would arrest and detain people without trial.
And especially even on a mere suspicion that you were up to something that could be inimical to the fortunes of the state or the leader of the state, I mean, that could land you into trouble. That's how bad it was. I am an Nkrumah fanatic. I believe he was a fantastic man. I believe if we had the likes of Nkrumah today, we would be in a far better place. But as we do this, sometimes there's a bit of a twist to it. I'm not going to avoid it. Sometimes we skew it and make it seem as though the man were a demon among us. No, every man has his own foibles. You get it. We can also go back to the Apollo situation. You remember that famous case as well?
So this was his extras.
These were his extras. If you go to Buzia, you would also find his extras going to court and all of that. So it runs through our
But this case is not just, if you like, a dent on Nkrumah, but also our courts, because they had an opportunity when this case went to court, and
I think it's more of a dent on the courts.
Criticized that they could have, made a big decisions that were made during the military era, even in court, and they did not attempt to do it. So you can read about the lectures and where we are with the series. I think it's a good thing that the series happens, every year. Akufo-Addo honored in Sierra Leone. It's also another story here. And Tobago support malaria campaign. Let's do page 5. Boris Johnson faces probe into home renovation costs. That's Britain's political spending watchdog will launch a formal investigation into the funding of renovations to Prime Minister Boris Johnson's apartment in Downing Street as he faces multiple allegations of political sleaze and scandal. And then in the center spread where we have the News One pullouts, Samini is reacting. He's described as fake claims that he will be joining the political race to run for Member of Parliament for Wa Central constituency in 2024. And veteran actor Prince Yosin, known in showbiz as Wache, has said it is not wrong to be God's preacher man and actor at the same time. And according to Wache, he would not stop his acting career because he had been ordained as a reverend minister. He said he would pursue both paths to the advantage of God's work. All right. And Bulldog's retraction a justification. So another prosecution witness in the trial of artist manager Lawrence Nanesiama Hansen, aka Bulldog, has told an Accra Circuit Court that he sees, or that she sees, the accused person's retraction to be more of a justification of the alleged threat he made against the president. Fallout of that court appearance in the paper today. On the back page, Minister of Defense stars corporate support. That's the Minister for Youth and Sport, Mustafa Yusuf, says the Black Stars attracting corporate support will significantly have a positive impact on funding for the other sporting discipline, which are considered least financed. I think what is trending with the Black Stars is actually their budgets to this campaign and the inconsistencies, the fact that the minister was not straightforward when he was addressing that matter in terms of what the exact budget was.
In the past, we've had issues with money. Remember Gold Coast in Australia and all of those matters arising. And I've forgotten who exactly said this, but a prominent figure who's been saying that it's not just pumping money. The money will not win us the trophy. You can pump in the resources, but there are other things that must be done. Remember 2014, for example, I mean, drawing with Germany and what we did. You can just imagine if there had been unity in the camp, if what was owed the players had been, if everything had been done in a certain way, I believe we could have advanced much more in that tournament. So it takes much more than money, though, to ensure that everything is right and that our stars can win the trophy. But let's check out, are you done with the graphic news?
Yes.
Let's check out the Business Finder now. And it talks about, I don't want to repeat other stories that have already come to the fore. EcoBank, GHS, others commit to eliminate malaria. And you may have heard by now of the malaria vaccines. They've been on trial for quite a while. We're hoping that finally we can see a lot of progress in the fight against malaria. We will audit toll booths. That's according to the roads minister. Is it now that we're going to audit them? And on page 4, development of Pitiko, I'm hoping that's how it's pronounced, is my goal. That's the Pitiko Hene. And I'm only highlighting this because Pitiko, by the way, is a community in the Kwewu Afram Plains South District. And if every chief, if every community leader, if every DCE were to commit, like this chief is doing, that I am going to bring about real development in my community, in my area, maybe all these calls sometimes and government, well, guess what? We are government, and we elect those few people we put up there as leaders. So I think this is a very good example. The chief has taken it upon himself. I'm going to develop my community, my area. Exploiting Africa's $1 trillion food market, and that's on page 5. My own friend Anthony Morrison and, of course, Foster Boateng, the Agra regional head for West Africa, share their thoughts on that matter. When you turn to page 9, time to end gender stereotyping in arts industry. I totally agree. That's it for the Business Finder newspaper.
Let me follow up with the Business and Financial Times newspaper. On the front page, panelists urge businesses to collaborate to survive COVID-19 challenges. Pandemic winners have to adapt to technology sustainably. That's a call by the UMB boss. President unveils $25 million initiative to support film industry. That's the sector minister promises to create rich, comfortable filmmakers, artists, and artistes. All in the paper today. There's also a feature on tech trends to watch in 2021 and beyond. Another feature on financial planning that you might want to check out on the back page. PIAC, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, has expressed concern over an amount of $843 million owed Ghana National Gas Company by power utilities, lamenting that the situation denies the Ghana Petroleum funds of much-needed money for investment and development. The rest of the stories on the back page of the Business and Financial Times newspaper, as well as this one. The president of the Federation of African Engineering Organization, who is the first female Ghanaian engineer to head the federation, has led a team of African engineers to sign a historic Africa-Asia-Pacific Accord during a virtual ceremony. The rest of it is on the back page of the Business and Financial Times. On
now to the Daily Dispatch. NPP National Chairman race. Whom will Akufo-Addo support? NDC National Chairman slot Nketia and Spio to challenge Ofosu Ampofo. And then Akufo-Addo deploys, well, that has been mentioned time and again. Former High Commissioner to Canada, Dr. Sule Garba, dies. He passed on Tuesday, April the 27th, 2021. Our condolences to his family and the country at large. So that's it with the headlines. Are you done with your final paper?
I am, sir.
Okay, so let's get into some of the details with the little time we have left. I'll do two stories. First, on page 3 of the Ghanaian Times newspaper, road crashes claim 33 lives in Upper East region, and at least 33 persons made up of 30 males and 3 females have been killed in road crashes in the Upper East region in the first quarter of 2021. A statement signed and copied to the Ghana News Agency by Mr. Abdullahi Bawa-Gamza, the Upper East regional head of National Road Safety Authority, said a total of 78 cases of road crashes were recorded during the period. He said the figures showed a surge in the number of road crashes recorded for the same period last year. So last year there were 64. in the entire year of 2020 with 32 deaths. But look at the toll this time round. Finally, minority asks government to explain challenges in power sector, and the minority in parliament has called on government to explain challenges in the power sector and desist from playing the blame game amidst conflicting accounts on the problem. Mr. Jinapo, NDC MP for Yape Kusogu, said the problem facing the energy sector was more serious than the, quote, unconvincing excuses and blame game. Of course, they've outlined their own thoughts on what government should be doing. You can check out details of that on page 4 of the paper. That's it.
So today's Thursday, right? On Tuesday, I visited a company in Tema. It's called SML. It's Strategic Mobilization Ghana. They actually provide revenue assurance services, and they've been in operation for about 10 months. And within that period, they've helped us save a billion, Ghana cedis in revenue. And it was a tour of the facility, and it was very impressive, how they
How do they manage that?
So they've put trackers on about 16 of the depots in Ghana, and I'm talking petroleum here.
Okay.
Before
I see.
They are set up. And I think we read a story related to them not too long ago, maybe last week thereabouts.
Yeah.
And so they kind of track when petroleum products are being discharged. And so they're able to tell exactly how much is going out or going in. And we have about 20 of the depots, but they've successfully put their trackers on about 16 of the depots. So
that
they're
in
helping
itself.
Customs.
No, go ahead.
They're helping customs, bill these dealers exactly how much they are either discharging or offloading. And it was really, really impressive. Massive investment that they had out there. And so we went to one of the sites, how they actually track, firsthand, one of those private operators, and it was really, really good. I thought that as we're given opportunity to highlight on details of the stories, I would put this one out. Yeah.
Well, it is a tricky business, that bit, and sometimes the operators even the truck drivers are always trying to cut corners. Yeah. They are always up to something. Very few of them are that trustworthy. So, of course, we must put in place the right mechanisms to ensure we're getting the very best. Can we do My Joy Online very quickly? Hopefully, if we can, we'll do that very briefly. And then wrap up for sports.
I said I was going to say a little bit about Mr. Martin Amidu. I think we'll have time later on in the show. But just the opening of this 3-page piece whilst we get ready to do myjoyonline.com, where he makes some links. Let me just read exactly what he's written. He says, anybody deeply knowledgeable about the Japa Royalties Transaction Corruption Risk Assessment Report, which resulted in my eventual resignation as the first special prosecutor, knows that one of the beneficiaries of the Japa Royalties transaction is Africa Legal Associate, whose contract to participate in the transaction was found to be contrary to the Public Procurement Act and tainted by bid rigging. Until 20th March 2020, Japa Royalties Limited was incorporated as Asase Royalties Limited on 5th November 2019 in Jersey and United Kingdom. Anybody who cares to know knows that the alter ego of Africa Legal Associate is a cousin of the president, who also established Asase Radio, which began official transmission on 14 June 2020. The Japa Royalties transaction records show the role the president cousin, who established Africa Legal Associate and Asase Radio, played with White and Case LLP of London, one of the foreign law firms in the suspected corruption transaction. And this is just one paragraph of this 3-page. His reaction basically is a story that Asase Radio, the online, did on the nominee for the special prosecutor position, but also how they brought him in to that conversation on their website. And he's making the link to the name that we've heard in terms of Kisi Ejaping, who's been nominated by the Attorney General. He talks about the fact that they are friends, classmates, and draws all the links in there. Maybe later on in the show, we'll be able to highlight properly some of the areas in this 3-page piece. But I have a gift for you.
Oh, you do?
Yes. I met an amazing man, Professor Douglas Boateng.
Okay.
He's an incredible academic, and please open it.
Okay, so
open it.
The official unveiling.
Yes, this is for you.
Right. Professor
Douglas Boateng. He's a professor extraordinaire for supply and value chain management.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And he mentioned you, so this is for you.
He did?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you can actually check it out. Yeah. So I think this works.
Yep.
Supply chain management.
Yeah.
I might want to change my career at this point in time, or add on. Like Wachi says, I can't quit there. I'll do this one in addition. So maybe I'll add up something. Wow, look at those.
So
Professor Douglas Boateng.
Yeah.
He's
actually like a really deep person, and there's something that he's been sharing every day with his contacts. And I would bring it out so that all of us will enjoy it actually on television in the coming days. So look out for it. I mean, he's a deep man. He cares about the young people. He cares about our future. And he's involved in all sorts of things. I mean, he's very open-minded, really deep person. You would love an engagement with him.
You look at his qualifications alone. I mean, this is like, it makes for interesting.
He's fully loaded.
Well, Prof, I'm very grateful for this. God richly bless you. And Mama V has delivered live on television. So
yeah,
here we are.
Well, he didn't ask me to do it this way, by the way. This was not how it was supposed to come out.
So let's quickly do My Joy online. I wait to see how independently corruption cases will be handled by new surrogate special prosecutor Martin Amidu there. He's throwing jabs already. Repair works begin on Huakra Highway following Joy News report. We get you results. It is sad the competence of Jean Mensah and Charlotte Osei were questioned. Eben Chambers is saying that another energy crisis will have dire consequences on already struggling Akufo-Addo economy. That's John Jinapor. Then we have Eben Chambers again saying parties in opposition have an appetite for change until they win power. Last 2 or 3 stories. Kisia Jabeng absolutely unfit for office of special prosecutor. That's what I was alluding to from Murtala Muhammad yesterday. Then Agenda 111 projects will start after Akufo-Addo cuts short. That's according to Dr. Insia Asari. And final one, full text, Martin Amidu's take on nomination of new special prosecutor. So those are some of the thoughts there. And while I feel we can share, our thoughts, play all the political games and analysis in whichever way we want to, I think we should pay attention to some of what people are saying from both sides. Those who are saying the guy is good, let us give him a chance. And those who are also sharing contrary views that, look, these are warning signals. Let's pay attention to both of them so that in the end, we all arrive at some sort of consensus. In the end, though, yes, the president will go through the processes that must be gone through and Parliament will do what it must do. But at least let's allow people to share their thoughts for or against. I believe it's important.
All right. Okay, so from Professor Douglas Boateng, he puts out this Nyansa Kasa. You know what Nyansa Kasa is? Words of wisdom. Right? And that's what I'll be sharing on the AM show. All right, we have to go and make way for sports.
But before that...
Muftau, Nabila?
Yes, there's a happy birthday event going on, or at least. So happy birthday to my lovely wife, Mrs. Ellen Boama. It's from her husband, Ernest Boama, and children, Josiah and Jaden. The name Jaden is becoming pretty popular. Well, happy birthday, Mrs. Ellen Boama. We wish you the very best. Time now for sports. We'll be talking about Manchester City digging into PSG. That's up next. Stay.